In the heaviest fighting since 2014, Hamas and other terror groups fired more than 1,000 rockets within a day and a half. It's the largest ever rocket fire on south and central Israel. The rocket salvos and the interceptions by the Iron Dome anti-missile system lit up the night sky over Tel Aviv in what looked like a Star Wars battle. Israel suspended flights from David Ben-Gurion Airport for an hour when rocket fire hit nearby. During the day, the skies over southern Israel witnessed the aerial battle between the rockets and the Iron Dome. The Israel Defense Force says the Iron Dome has shot down more than 90% of the rockets. 5 Israelis have been killed by the rocket fire.
All of these rockets were fired from densely populated civilian areas in Gaza by terrorists, blatantly disregarding human life and security of Palestinians and aiming to kill Israeli civilians. We are responding to Hamas's aggression by firing rockets at Israel, at our capital, and by forcing more than 1.5 million Israeli civilians into shelter.
In a campaign called Guardians of the Wall, Israel launched more than 500 surgical airstrikes to stop the rocket fire. Israeli Defense Minister Benny Gantz said they have many more targets to hit. 35 Palestinians have died in the attacks. The IDF says most of those were involved in the rocket attacks. The IDF has also killed several leaders of Hamas and Palestinian Islamic Jihad. They toppled this building, housing Hamas offices. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu met with Israel's security cabinet.
The conclusion of the meeting is to increase even more the force of the strikes and also the rate of the strikes. Hamas will now receive blows that it did not expect, and I know that this also involves patience and a certain sacrifice on your part, citizens of Israel.
On Tuesday, the U.S. State Department weighed in on the fighting.
Israel has the right to defend itself and to respond to rocket attacks. The Palestinian people also have the right to safety and security, just as Israelis do.
And the worst riots in more than 20 years rocked the Israeli town of Lod when Israeli Arabs rioted, burned synagogues, and set fire to dozens of cars. Israel declared a state of emergency, and the mayor called it a civil war. Inside Gaza, Hamas vowed to keep fighting, and its leader, Ismail Haniyeh, said it shifted the balance of power. The Palestinian Islamic Jihad posted this video thanking Iran for the new Badr 3 missile. It's another sign Iran is directly involved in this conflict. Last year, Iran's Supreme Leader Khamenei admitted for the first time his country was supplying weapons. He said Iran realized Palestinian fighters' only problem was a lack of access to weapons. Chris Mitchell, CBN News, Jerusalem.